out.
I will once I've got it. Big changes too.
Okay.
Get it shown.
Oh lordy, I've messed up. Well, you never do know. I've learned something, Rick. That if you turn your phone, I've learned something. If you turn your phone round the other way up during a live stream, it switches it off.
So you got another way of going live again?
Yeah, I'm back on already. People are coming back. Kelly, how are you? Sorry about that. I think we had about sort of 30 people in, and it's all
Okay.
all.
So
Michelle will get you back.
Okay, so that's there.
Sean, I've learnt something. Turn your phone, invert your phone during a live stream, and it just ends. Oh, I'm back on. Yeah. Can you see the message? Send
Yeah,
send the link to Rick.
Hang on.
Most people are back in, hopefully. I'm terribly sorry. That was a bit. It's very interesting today. We are back in the UK. We are back in England after many years, and I've come to see my good friend Rick Van Man. And today has been an absolute corker of a day. The sky was blue, super hot, and just as we went live, it started to rain. So there you go. So that is where we are, but it's not necessarily the end of the story. We had a fairly fretful few days towards the end of our stay, and we've made some big decisions to get on and do something a little more exciting for Michelle and I anyway. Good day, Jill. How are you?
Okay,
Michelle's just got to share out the links to everybody. Rick, Michelle will share them back to you if you want to send them back out again.
I did. Okay, that's that one.
We are in the beautiful Blighty. Mert, did you find us? Good day, Sue Johns. How are you?
So I think everyone's coming back in, maybe.
It's kind of strange now because now the camera. Shall I turn it round?
No, just don't touch the camera anymore. Just behave yourself.
Good day, Sam. How are you, mate? It is sort of home, isn't it? But not really home. I mean, I've lived in Australia many more years than I've spent in the UK, but it does feel like a sort of home coming in a way. Yes.
Okay, so let's get out that one. To that one. I'm getting back, maybe.
Michelle's she's catching up.
I am. Okay, get rid of that
How
one.
are you all? I hope you're absolutely super fine. I hope everybody's starting to get back to normal a little bit, maybe starting to get a bit more. It's a little strange. I've just come for the first time to the UK for quite a few years, and there's a lot of changes, social changes going on. But we've only been here barely just over 24 hours, and I'm loving it. It's great to be in this lovely cool weather. It's lovely to see some familiar, friendly faces, and it's nice to be thinking about new plans and interesting new plans. I'll tell you what we're going to do.
So just a couple of the. Jill says that I hope you're away from the large cities. I hope.
We're out in the country. Well, we're not out in the country, but I won't say where we are because of respecting where Rick is. But Rick kindly sort of reached out to me and said, "Oh, why don't you come and stay with me for a while? I've got space." So we said we come here, and the man himself, who will join us shortly, just had a delivery come. So he's literally, as we went live, it came to the door.
So Kelly says, Brighton, yes, the pier is amazing there. You should have a good walk down to the beach.
Brighton?
Yeah.
We're not in Brighton.
No. Ben says, so what made you get back to England, Steve? I know I suggested it a few times, but I didn't think you'd do it. Lol.
Ben, it was more a place of where could we go. There was almost nowhere we could fly to from Bodrum. Everywhere we turned, wasn't letting Turkish in. We couldn't get across to Greece. The borders, they refused to open the borders between Greece and Turkey. Even we first of all thought on the 1st of July, and that's why we headed to Bodrum. Then they were going to open them on the 15th of July, which we waited around for, and then they were going to open them on the beginning of August. And as far as we knew, they were saying that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, the Turks weren't optimistic about that,
no,
were they?
we spoke with a few ferry companies, and they said no, it's not going to happen. Then there was a big holiday, a big sort of Turkish holiday this weekend, and the hotel we were in basically said we couldn't stay there. They had big plans for the weekend. As it actually happened, it was a bit of nonsense, and we could have stayed there, but the lady wanted to try and make extra money out of us. I think that was the idea, which kind of backfired because she made it seem as if it was going to be so busy that weekend we wouldn't have a place to stay. We had to start looking at alternatives, and because of that, we realized that it was going to be difficult for us to find a place, a long-term place to put our roots down. We said, well, this is just getting crazy. We're feeling pretty stressed. You know, you would have saw maybe the day that we did the live stream from Gümüşlük, the day we were there and we were having seafood on the coast at Gümüşlük there. We were happy as Larry. We booked extra. We were booked in to stay in the hotel for at least another week, and everything was going well. And then suddenly this spanner was thrown in the work, and we thought, well, we've got to go somewhere. So we started looking at flights. Very limited choices for us. We can't go back to Australia. Australia itself has closed down 100%. The borders are closed now. We can't fly back into Victoria. They're not taking any international flights for the foreseeable future. And we said, well, one of the few places that will get us out of Turkey. Oh, our visa in Turkey had also expired some months before, and we were starting to get the notion that we'd been told if we don't get out by the 1st of August, we could get into some trouble. I suspect that is not the case, actually. I think we would have been forgiven. But it's having that endless, constant uncertainty hanging over you that was starting to trouble Michelle and I. So we thought, we need to get out. The only places we could fly to where we didn't have to do a full quarantine.
That's what Sean's saying here. Do you need to stay indoors for the next 2 weeks now? Lockdown?
No. Turkey's on the safe list for us, Sean. So Michelle and I haven't been. We've been the dystopia you have here now in the UK with the mask wearing. We've had for over 4 months. We've had mask wearing and sort of in shops and even in the streets for quite some time. So Turkey's on the white list.
Oh, hello.
Hello there. Jonathan Livingston Seagull. So we thought, well, if we can, it was our only way. We can't go to Southeast Asia, we can't go to the US, we can't go.
Yeah, Jill's asking, wow, Australia's closed up. Yikes, even for citizens. Yes, Victoria.
Even for citizens,
is
even
not
we
actually
cannot go home. We couldn't fly to almost anywhere in Europe.
Because we were in Turkey.
So I started putting feelers out to where we could go. Michelle had said for some time we can fly to the UK, and then once we're in Europe, it opens up other avenues for us. And Ben, you alluded to this before, and you're right. The flights coming here were quite expensive, but we really had no choice. We were going to be homeless as of Thursday morning. We would have had nowhere to stay unless we were going to pay very exorbitantly high prices in hotels that were basically empty. So we took the plunge and bought a couple of tickets to fly to the UK.
Just the day before we flew.
The day before. So you saw us in Gümüşlük enjoying ourselves on the beach, and the next day it was all sort of panic stations and where are we going to go. So we've flown to the UK. We started to try that. We then had the confusion of we can't visit a lot of people because there's many people are a little bit the only family we know really that from Michelle's side either elderly or with children, so that was going to always be an issue. And then kindly this young man,
Well, as Sean said, is Rick doing sound effects?
He is doing sound effects. Yeah, can you hear him?
And then he says, buy Rick's van off him and go off doing a UK food tour
I
series.
give him a fiver for his van. Yeah. Rick, do you accept?
Yeah, it took me 2 years to get it just so I want it.
Bugger off. I think he said bugger off.
So Eddie said, haha, seagull photo bomb. Yes, that seagull was flying quite close.
No, but he was super kind. Reached out to us through our social group and offered us a place. And here he is, the man himself, the beautiful, the wonderful star of stage.
You won't be saying that when you get your bill.
That's what that seagull just said. So yes, we've come back here to sort of regroup and we don't have visa problems here at the moment, so he's trying to get out
I
of
think
shot.
camera shy today.
Okay, yeah, Sean's got another idea. He says, build a tiny house on Damon's field, then live off the land.
Tiny house,
Just a
little tiny house. We've got to go home at some point, Sean. We do have to go home. There is rumours that Australia won't be open for quite some months. So in the meantime, we want to find something that we can do that will get us out of this cycle of craziness. And we've been planning for a long time to do the Camino de Santiago. That was the.
Sorry.
You start.
You said Rick's shed is quite big.
And I'm just, you just seen it as well. I laughed.
I know. I'll go in there and show you my bed in a minute. So. You've seen what's happening in Spain. A lot of you may have been following the sort of, maybe not as actively as we have been doing, because it means a lot more to us, I suppose. We thought we might be able to get out of Turkey and walk the Camino at the late part of the summer, but Spain's looking more and more chance of being completely locked down. Again, the second wave they're talking about. I think another 7 people have been reported poorly in Spain, so that's causing some issues. And as far as I know, also the whole of the hike would have had to have been done even though you were out in the wilderness, in the mountains. In some parts you would have still had to wear a mask, and Michelle and I just said, well, it's just not going to be any fun. So
Paul
what do
in
we do,
Ireland
then?
says you're only a 40-minute flight from Ireland.
Oh, Paul, we so nearly got a flight to Dublin. We when we were looking, we were really just punting for any flight we could get, and then we took the flight and then started thinking where to go, and that's where this lovely fella helped us out,
So,
and Rick, of course.
well, Barry's 20 says, dang, nice to see it's morning in other parts of the world. It's not morning.
It's not morning. It's evening.
They're not drinking
time.
beers in the morning.
No, we're not drinking.
That could be problematic, couldn't it? It's early morning.
So cheers, everybody. Cheers to you, lovely people. I hope. Did you see what happened? I turned the
Chin chin.
social one we got.
Yeah, socially.
You see what happened? I turned the phone out. I thought I'll give it a little turn, just twist it over, and it just said you've disconnected.
Well, you've learned something new anyway.
I have
Nothing
learned
else.
something. I always learn by mistakes. That's how I found Michelle.
Ooh, he's being nasty tonight, isn't he?
I'm not. You can tell I'm actually a little bit.
So Alini says cheers.
Cheers.
And then Grumpy Poo says you could have got one to John Lennon from Bodrum. Yes, that's Liverpool, isn't it? We looked at that.
Yes, we did, GP. We did actually see that we could have gone up to Liverpool, but we literally had to get a flight within a sort of period of about 12 hours. So it was a little bit hit and miss. And I was a bit, when we found one that wasn't sort of, £10,000, we thought, well, we better jump at it. So there were a few other options, but London's always the one that sort of generally comes up. It's the hub. and we got a slightly better deal.
So Sean says it's been well over 32 degrees in London today. How is it there in that secret location?
Sean, the weather today has been so hot. It's a home from home for us from Bodrum. It was
Did we hit
been
33?
33 degrees
Yeah,
Celsius, so about
intense.
97 Fahrenheit would it be, or
33, 66, 76, 80, 96 -ish.
96-ish degrees Fahrenheit. So it's been hot.
Mm.
But then the UK is quite renowned for its hot spells, isn't it?
Yeah, one day of the year usually.
We bought that nice weather. for you,
Yeah.
yes.
We
Yeah.
bought this weather. We bought
It
this
has
weather.
been nice since you've been
It's
here.
been gorgeous, actually. Yes.
So Mr. Old Clunky says, howdy folks.
Howdy dowdy.
And Sneaker says, is it so sunny at 9:24 p.m. in Turkey? When
Yeah.
not in Turkey.
We are in the UK, and yes, it would be still. No, it would be. Sun would be down in Turkey. So
So Sue John says, getting cooler tomorrow.
hit that thumbs up for Rick, everybody, while you're in there.
Yes.
Well, there's a few of you in for being such a sport and not being too frightened to put up a couple of sort of stranded YouTube buddies. Now, those of you that don't know Rick's channel already, and I know there's a few of Rick's buddies in as well, Rick Van Man on YouTube, get across, and I'll put the link down below. And we will actually be doing some more interaction with Rick while we're here, so you probably want to sort of follow both channels and see what we're up to.
Yeah, we've got a few
few ideas
working
planned.
on.
And this is a nice little pub, this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all right. Do you remember this place?
I do.
Cheap
So
too.
Grumpy Poo's been following Rick for years, looking good like the haircut.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Gareth Lavel says, welcome to the UK. Did you know that you can seek
do.
asylum?
Haircut.
Are you listening to me?
Sorry.
Don't listen to that.
And they will give you a huge house and a handful of cash too.
Who?
See, that made you look up, didn't it?
Hello.
You got to seek asylum there, apparently.
Wait.
Jill says,
That's my
Rick,
haircut.
thumbs up.
Grumpy Poo. So looking good like the haircut.
Yeah. GP, whose hair are you talking about? Come on. Spill the beans.
Grumpy Poo. Been following Rick for years, looking good like the haircut.
Yes, that's the
They've been
first bit was
following
incidental.
Rick for years.
You should have seen the before pictures. Oh,
GP, I think you might have. You remember many years ago when you used to.
thank you, Jill.
Yes.
Yeah, Sean says
just
he'll have you
thank
doing
you, Jill.
meditation by the morning.
Yes, we shall be doing a little bit of meditation. Cross-legged now I am. Mani Padma.
Elaine says you might have a shot of getting into Oz if you are prepared to pick a few mangoes.
No,
obviously looking for
we
mango
don't want.
pickings.
We don't. You cannot get into home. Home for us is Victoria, and it's shut. So, thanks, Sally.
Yeah, so Jill and Sally have just subscribed.
You're like Rick. He's a lovely guy.
And Grumpy Poo said, that's me, that is since the allotment days.
Yeah, yeah. Grumpy Poo's been with me a long time.
Yes,
Yes.
GP. She's been possibly 4 years, 5 years with us, and I think she's always been quite a big fan of my haircut.
Okay.
Rick's always got a good haircut. He looks like that fella. He looks like that fella that does the coffee reviews, doesn't he? James.
Let me call the picture up. I took a picture before I had my hair cut, and I looked like
No, he looked like
that was before.
flock of seagulls. I ran
That
to
was
you.
after.
Yes.
Yes, very smart, very smart.
It was getting ridiculous. It gets in your eye. You get that point where it gets in your eye. so it's just
It's always in the eyes, Rick.
Yeah.
Gets in the eyes. Sometimes it's all rubbing the back of my neck, at the back there. I've had it where it sometimes gets in your crap.
Stop it, stop it. I know.
I'm not. It's all right. It's not damaging your viewers.
So Sean said you can teach Rick to cook now.
Mm.
Yes, we've got a few things planned there as well, haven't we, mate?
Mm.
Yes, you cooked us a nice lunch today, didn't you, Steve?
Rick's
You had a very
Rick's
nice
done
lunch
some
today.
pretty interesting food. We got here yesterday was our first full day in the UK, and so we've had a little bit of time just to
What?
Well, no, just reading the comments because John says greetings from Alabama, balmy 90 degrees Fahrenheit with 90% humidity, and then he said kind of had that Boris vibe going on before the haircut.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
We've got a few things planned. We've also got, Michelle and I have got some plans which involves a very big walk. A
Yes.
very big walk.
A very big walk.
And one of the things, Ben, you might appreciate, well, all of you will appreciate, is we thought coming back here would be an opportunity for us to come to Europe and get that Camino done. We can't do the Camino, so the next idea, and it was Michelle's idea, give her full credit, come around and say take a bow.
Take a bow.
I think it's smart.
No,
No,
stay,
no,
stay,
no, no.
stay,
I don't stay around.
okay.
I don't hang around.
It was her idea.
My idea. Let's take full credit for it.
We're middle of the European summer at the moment. It's winter back in Australia, as you know. Probably going to be the best time of year to be in this part of the world. And Michelle said, why don't we walk from John O'Groats to Land's End?
There you go. See?
And when she
Brilliant idea.
said, when she said it, I said, what a stupid idea. I think that's what I said.
You
right?
sort of-
Initially,
yeah,
I
yeah.
said, well, I'm not sure
Not
about
sure
that.
about that.
Fuel
And then we-
begs to differ.
Yeah, and we sat, we sat in fear of eviction in our hotel room, almost, I don't know, beside ourselves with too much going on up here. I did a little bit of meditation. I sat there and I did a little bit on Madi Papa Hum. I did a little bit of meditation, and then a few moments later I said, you know, that's not such a bad idea.
No, Ben didn't catch it. Where are we walking, hiking? It's not a
No, we're not infectious, Ben. We've been tested. We're perfectly fine. You won't catch it off of us.
COVID.
Sorry about that. Yeah, careful.
Sorry.
I ordered Plowman's with this beer.
I could arrange a Plowman's if you want.
That would be quite nice.
Do you want to make your Plowman's?
Yes, please. Can you do Plowman's?
Plowman's in this pub.
I can do Plowman's.
You can
You
do
got any pickled onions?
Sue says, it asks Sue, are you cooking tonight,
I'm
Steve?
a
I think
golden one.
Rick's cooking tonight.
Okay.
I'm
Plowman's.
a golden wonder, crisp as happy as can be. I met a pickled onion and she wants to marry me. Oh, my mum was left. My dad was sad and she's part of the family. That was the golden wonder. The first time they brought out pickled onion crisps.
I've learned something new
There
today.
you go then.
So I'm going to make
Slingy Rock.
Pluffman's.
Pluffman's. Pluffman's lunch.
Rick will be back.
So Sean says Rick needs to go live as he cooks the food.
We might swing in. Can we? May we swing in,
No,
Rick?
he says he doesn't do live.
Rick, may we swing in? May we swing in? Yeah, in a minute. We may swing in and say hello to Rick while he's probably baking the bread. Are you putting the loaf on now, Rick?
I'll put the oven on.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
So the Shuligan says, so the secret adventures, when are we privy to such adventures? And Grumpy Poo said, what about the Pennine Way?
well, I think actually the walk from
Well, again, Ben
Shuligan's.
said, I didn't catch what you said.
Sorry,
Where are
Shuligan's
you
and
walking since you
GP?
can't do the Camino?
Ben. Michelle said walk from John O'Groats, the furthest, most northest part of Scotland, all the way down through the country of the United Kingdom and Great Britain.
Skirting along Wales.
So from the top of Scotland down to the very tip of the United Kingdom,
To Land's End.
to Land's End.
And he said, that's a crazy, but a
And
good
I
idea.
thought it was a bit of a dumb idea, but actually as I sat there and I thought, well, we've nothing else to do. And we're fit as fiddles, aren't we?
Yeah.
At the moment, Michelle and I, we've been running sort of 50 Ks every morning in Bodrum, so we're fit as fiddles as it is. And we thought,
And Sean says Rick wants to go to Scotland. He can drop you off.
yes, yes. No, I don't think so. Rick wants to go up and do the 500. Is it, Rick? What's it called? North Coast 500. We might meet him up there. If he does decide to do it, we might sort of try and swing by, because you know Michelle and I are pretty fit by then. If we need to swing by somewhere, we could
Yeah,
probably swing
We
by.
can probably swing by.
So anyway, the plan is, and I did say to Rick we weren't going to talk about this for another week or so because we've got to try and organise gear we've got to try and organise the route,
But it's going to
finance.
happen, pretty quick.
Yeah. Finances, everything's got to be sort of sorted out. And I said, if we say to you, beautiful viewers out there, what we're going to do, we'll probably cobble it. Is that a word? We'll probably mess it up and we won't get it done. But actually, in a way, I feel like if we put ourselves a little under pressure, it might well speed things along. So we've got the help of our good friend Rick here, and in the meantime, we're going to try and organise ourselves some hiking gear, and that's the plan.
Yes, and
What do you think?
And as Eddie says, that's a bloody long way. It's actually 1,000 kilometres.
I think it's 800 miles.
Yes, it's a little bit
in old
further than
money.
the Camino.
It's more than the Camino, and it should take longer. Now we are on the hook, Eleni. We are.
Huge expectations.
We are.
Ben says you've got to check out the Peak District if you get close to it, Steve.
I think we go through every district that's known to man. You mention it, the Pennines, Ben Nevis. I think anything that's that's basically a landmark in the UK, we will, because we're not very good orienteering, so we could end up.
Yeah.
We might even end up in North Wales.
Eddie says you're nuts.
Thank you.
Now Shulligan says meet up with different creators for different stretches, 10k walks and talks, and we'll work.
What a
on
beautiful,
tag.
beautiful idea. I mean, what we can do, if you can maybe share it out as we go along, because what we thought we would do, oh God, we're going to put ourselves into a lot of bother.
No, it might evolve a little bit, but
We're not going to make videos as we are making videos as we go along, but we're not going to be actually editing and putting up videos. But what I will do is put up very regular live streams like this from wherever we are in the country. So if we find a beautiful place, and I think it's going to be gorgeous. I mean, I've never done anything like this in my life. So
Sue says, not being rude, think you may be too old for that.
Sue.
Hire a camper van. But that would be cheating.
Sue. Rick, I'm not doing this anymore.
Sean says Google says it takes 3 months. Apparently it takes 60 days. So we'll see.
No, 3 months is probably closer.
Probably.
That's for someone who's fit as a fiddle. We'll be doing it. We'll be coming in this sort of early part of 2021, I think.
Susan said that would be Melbourne to Sydney. It would be.
It actually would be.
Yes.
Melbourne
yes.
to Sydney. Yes, a very similar distance, and I know that from actually, Sue, I think it's Melbourne to Brisbane.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's about Melbourne to Land's End to John O'Groats. It's a similar distance, I think, from Melbourne to Brisbane.
So Gareth says you could eat your way around the UK. And
Sue?
no, Gareth.
No,
said.
but I'm still annoyed at what Sue said.
Yeah, we'll just get over that.
Oh,
We're on to the
no,
next one.
Banner.
Sean says 3 months.
Don't
if you stop.
banner, Ben. Don't you dare.
Sean says 3 months if you stop at the pubs.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely
Yeah,
sure.
Ben agrees with me. Just get over it. Move on. No, see, Susan says 1,900 k's to Brizzy. It is. It's 1,000 to Sydney and then a bit more to Brizzy.
Okay, Sue, you're
Yeah.
right. Susan, you're right.
And Greenkeeper Lawn Care says that could do. Oh, you could do the 3 peak challenge.
Yes, it does go through the Peak District. It goes through. You can pretty much choose how you want to do. I think Michelle and I will be doing it via Google. We're going to do a bit of studying. I mean, look, this is the way we live our lives. We don't plan a lot, so it's not that remarkable what we're planning to do, in so much as this is pretty much how we travel anyway. We didn't know we were going to Turkey until maybe 5 days before we went to Turkey. So
Gail says, I'm so excited to follow you on your trek and adventure for all of us.
Gail, it's going to be amazing, and I want you all to come along. I want you to give us ideas, tell us where to go, meet us if you like, if anyone's if we're nearby, meet us and walk with us for a while.
So Gareth
feed
says
us.
1,407 kilometres Land's End to John O'Groats.
Yeah, I think it's closer to Brisbane. What was the Brisbane one that
1,900.
yeah, I think actually
It depends which way you go. So they're all putting different things
Yes.
in now. You know, we're going.
stop trying to
that
put me
way.
off. It sounds too far.
Yeah.
I basically the walk, the Camino de Santiago is 800 kilometers. Yes, and
Oh, thank you, Paul. Cheers.
cheers, mate. Paul, that I'm going now. Cheers, mate.
So what's
Paul,
this?
you've been
Sean
fantastic.
saying?
Paul has been. I just wanted to say,
Oh,
Paul,
yes,
Paul
sorry,
has been
yes.
a really good support to the channel through the super chats here on YouTube and through our patronage.
Patreon.
And we've had a new patron as well,
We have.
Ellie.
Let me get it right because
Yes, I'm not sure she's in. Let me just check because that just popped up as well. So we've had a new-
Eri.
So Eri Kajita, thank you very much for joining us on Patreon. And what we might also do is do some special little bits. Nothing that will upset the regulars, but some special little bits for patrons as we come down this walk, if it comes along. So Gareth, what are you saying? 1,400, 800? Well, exactly is a little bit, let's go in and check out Rick while I have a little talk about this.
That's all right because I'm frozen.
It's quite warm though, Michelle.
Computer.
Ricky,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Good, yeah.
Rick's kitchen, here we are. Oh, I've got a bit of problem with my sound.
Yeah, it sounds like. Don't turn it the other way.
Why?
Because we'll have a palaver on our hands.
Rick.
Hello.
It's doing us a beautiful look. We've got some mountain mulberry, pork pies. We've got a nice bit of ham, a bit of a short cheddar. This is the kitchen of the dog and duck.
Yeah. Alexa, 9 minutes on. Apologies to anybody who got an Alexa because I've just set you
Back outside. Back outside. Thank you, Rick.
So Sean says it's like Saturday kitchen.
It is. We'll be doing a bit of that. So look for that.
I said we like.
So we've said it now.
Yeah, we like John. He says, you've got this. I met people well into their 70s backpacking the entire Appalachian Trail. Can't wait for the adventure.
Absolutely. And Michelle and I are only in our 30s, so we're all right.
So Sean has come up. I can see the headlines in the Daily Mail. Australian residents locked out of their own country, so walking the length of UK to waste time until Australia reopens.
Kicking. We're out back. We're going walkabout. That's it. The great United Kingdom walkabout. You better have widgety grubs out there somewhere, otherwise we'll starve to death.
Yeah, someone said, I don't know who said it earlier on about we're doing some bush tucker food.
Bush tucker up in the Highlands of Scotland. How cool would that be? I think you'll enjoy it. Does everyone agree? Thumbs up, please. Not enough of you hit that thumbs up, particularly for dear Rick here, who's been kind enough to put us up. Hit that thumbs up if you think it's a good idea. Hit the thumbs down if you dare, because I shall be round your place, sort you out.
So be online. One said it would be great if you guys could streamline enjoy all the beautiful places with you guys in the comfort of our home quarantine.
Would you like that? We could try. I don't know how the data will work and how the internet connections. We're probably going to have to get another SIM card. There's one. I'll talk with maybe Sean or one of you guys watching. Damon, are you in as well?
I think so.
Which is the best SIM card, do you think, for those sort of more remote areas? I have at the moment a free SIM card.
But I need one.
But Michelle's going to need one. There's another 2 or 3 brands over here in the UK. I don't know them, so maybe you could tell me if you reckon we'd be able to live stream up in those more remote areas. And if we can, we will definitely maybe even do more. The idea was to film it like we normally do, but we won't actually edit the footage until we get to the end. But to keep everybody entertained, we're going to live stream regularly, maybe every day, apart from the days when we're completely knackered and sort of like laying in a ditch by the side of the road. Who was it who was going to be in a ditch? Was that Boris? Or was that Trump?
I don't know. Don't do that.
Dead in a ditch.
So Jill said that it sounds good. Sue John says be great fun for us. Ben says I agree.
E. That's actually a name of a telecom, I think.
Oh, is it? I haven't
think
got
so.
to there.
Greenkeeper Lawn Care. EE is a name of a telecom company, isn't it? Is that? Is that the? We're going to need a fair bit of data.
Ah.
I've got 20 gigabytes that I topped up when I arrived here in the UK. So,
Grumpy Poo says, can I come down to yours for tea, Rick? It looks fab.
GP, we'd love to have you here.
It says definitely do the walk.
Yes, EE is a competitor to Vodafone and O2. What do you think? Thank you, Sean. By the way,
And he says, are you going to stay in a tent?
anybody who's got a channel that wants to shout out, just put your channel link in. We'll let them in. Definitely Sean's there. Damon, I think. Anyone who's got a channel, because I know Sean's allotment. Sean, I've been watching you for a long time, mate, from very, very early on with your allotment. And your remaining channel. So, and all of Rick's mates as well. Fantastic channel. So we might even be able to meet up with some on the route. That'd be kind of cool when we get down this side of the country. Obviously, nobody lives up in Scotland, do they?
So Ben says get gift gaff, Steve, the cheapest. They use O2 network.
We'll make a note. Gift gaff. But what
O2 pay as you go SIM card.
We will need not only just
it's for data, isn't it?
SIM card. We need. Well, no, it's remote areas. I want to be able to. It's no good having the data if we can't.
Yeah, but Ben says, Steve, I recommend you check the different coverage areas for Vodafone, O2 and EE to see which one offers the best coverage, especially for the rural parts.
What we might do is we might splash out and get a few SIM cards so that we can try and work out which ones work.
Annie said, and Sean said, where will you stay? Camping?
Camping.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm walking 150 miles around the London countryside.
Beautiful. Who said that?
Sean.
Sean, beautiful, mate. And we're looking to get a tent, like a hiking tent. There's one called Big Agnes. If anyone knows of any really lightweight hiking tents, or if anyone knows anyone that works
that weighs about 100 grams.
Yeah, because we've got to carry it. The thing is, we're trying to keep our packs as small and light as possible. If we do this, we don't want to take too much weight with us. So we're probably going to have to get new packs. We're probably going to have to get new shoes, because my shoes have gone 2 years now and they're absolutely beautiful. The Keen shoes that Michelle and I wear are wonderful shoes. We're not going to get hiking boots. We're going to carry on wearing our Keen shoes, but we're going to need new ones. They're worn flat as a pancake at the moment. We're going to need to get sleeping bags, tents, possibly some cooking gear if we're going to cook with you guys out in the...
Possibly a little bit of a solar...
Something to... Yeah, how are we going to get charged?
Yeah, I've been looking at that.
Charging our phones and equipment while we go. Yeah, we're going to have to work out. There's a lot to think about.
So Paul says, I'll be in my budgie smugglers if you come to sort me out. So you're cool.
Which Paul?
Paul Webber.
He's in his budgie smugglers.
Yeah.
Paul, I'm getting strange pictures in my mind.
Mr. Old Clunker says the thumbs down should be disabled. No, we don't mind thumbs down.
No, thumbs down's all right if they want to go for it. But I warn you, I should be. We go everywhere. Have legs, we'll travel. We'll catch you at some point. You thumb it down, we'll find you.
So Arthur says you might carry a sat tracker too.
A what?
A sat tracker.
Sat tracker?
Well, I said sat tracker, but I think it means a sat nav tracker thing.
No, we don't. We won't be doing that.
It's good if we get lost.
We're going to get lost.
It'll add to the fun, won't it?
The longer it takes, the better. I mean, hopefully by the time we get down to Land's End. And the reason we're going to do it the other way round, by the way, start up in John O'Groats,
which was my idea as well.
Oh, you're so clever. Well done, you.
Oh, thank you.
Take a bow.
Oh, thank you.
Take a cookie out of the can.
I will.
The reason we're going to go from the north to the south, because the common walking route is Land's End to John O'Groats, and it's called the Le Jog.
Yes.
The short term for it is Le Jog, Land's End, John O'Groats. But going the other way is called the Joggle, John O'Groats to Land's End. The reason we're going to do it that way round is because it's summer up there. It's not summer, it's summer everywhere around this side. In Australia, of course, it's winter.
Scotland has a very short summer.
We're hoping to get the best weather while we're up in Scotland, and as we come down country, hopefully, please, United Kingdom, please give us an Indian summer, nice long Indian summer, all the way through to sort of September, October, November, December, because that's how long it's going to take, I think. So we are going to start in the coldest climate and work our way down to the warmer climate. So hopefully the weather will follow us. That's why we're doing it the wrong way round, and that's why we're doing the joggle rather than the lee jog.
Yes. Gareth says in Scotland they do deep fried pies in almost every chip shop.
We won't be in any rubbish on where we're actually coming out of this at the end fit as a fiddle, and or completely.
And Sean says this may not work, but you can transfer footage to me and I'll edit a few weekly vlogs.
Oh, thank you, Sean. Thank you, mate. But we'll talk about it.
We're working on it.
I'm probably happy to do my editing when I get to the end. I just don't want to do it en route. And what we thought we could then do, what's Ben saying there? I just saw a few comments. What we're going to do is do the filming as we normally do, the sort of adventure of the journey down with all the highlights and lowlights and you know, problems that we have and joys that we have. But so that I can keep you guys in the loop as we are doing the journey, we're going to do lots of regular live streams that will show you where we are and tell you about how things have been getting on. That's the idea.
So Ben was saying weather is still really good up to late September or early October, but after that it gets cold rapidly. Sorry to disappoint, lol. That's for England, by the way. Scotland's a different story, though.
John, I'm seeing comments about tents and things. Thank you very much. I will make a note.
Yes, I've looked at the RII Half Dome as well.
Yeah, at the moment we're looking at a Big Agnes copper something or another tent. It's a copper spur, Big Agnes.
Going for the 3-man.
They're quite expensive, but I think what you get when you pay a little more for your tent is lightweight and also practicality. It's going to be, I don't know. Or maybe we'll just take a couple of bin bags and some sticks. But anyway, the idea is that at the moment it's looking like maybe a Big Agnes copper spur 3-person. So they're not really full 3-person tents, but it'll give Michelle and I a bit more space to sort of spread out, maybe take a couple of wardrobes with us, upwards, maybe a pop-up TV screen.
And a table and chairs.
And but in order to get the table and chairs in the backpack, we're going to have to kind of... Hey, Garçon. Here he comes. Look, here he comes, just walking down the street.
Wow, look at that.
Wow, look at that. Oh, what a... Look, who wants to come and join us?
It's supper time at Rick's.
Look at that. I haven't had... For anybody that doesn't live in the UK, you may not know, this is what we call a Plowman's. Or
slight variation of the traditional.
Plowman's, yes, it is. But basically, it's your salad, it's your lovely rich cheddar cheese, ham, coleslaw. We've got a couple of Mulberry pork pies here. I'll just bite one. Look, I'll just bite one. Full with the centre with pork.
So Sean's joining you with a cup of tea.
And all importantly, a freshly roasted little cob loaf.
Baked, dear, baked.
Baked.
That's butter, that's not cheese.
Right.
Just get it.
I'm doing as best I can here.
Ben says classic British dish, delicious.
I haven't had a Plowman's.
Oh, say goodnight to Grumpy Poo.
Good night, GP.
Got to go.
Night, Grumpy Poo.
Thank you, Rick.
No worries.
And a nice little piece of butter. Look at that for presentation. Thank you, mate.
So Grumpy Poo also said ID Mobile is doing a deal, £15 for 50 gig of data, unlimited text and messages. And if you need a laundry break in Liverpool, but my house isn't as nice like Rick's. And Mr. Oldclunker says there are folding solar chargers that can hang on your pack. Yes, I was looking at them today. There's ones that you can do 2 USB ports to as well, so they look quite good.
Come and sit here for a little moment, Michelle.
And Arthur says that Garmin InReach Mini sends your location so we can follow you.
So Michelle's going to sit here.
I've got lots of comments to catch up.
She'll catch up on the comments.
Because he doesn't give me time to jump in.
Oh, I love a pickled onion. I haven't had a pickled onion in maybe a year.
Got the Branston pickle.
Bring out the Branston.
Where do you want
Just
it?
not where the pickle was, mate.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
I knew there was something missing. I've got caramelised chutney as well if you want some.
No, it'd be good. Although,
Well, that sounded rather nice. You said no
yeah,
too quickly.
I did say no. I was being polite.
So Irish Cat says, I used RAV Power foldable portable solar unit, charges USB stuff very well in good sun. This is the problem though, you see, we're going to Scotland.
Pickled onions. The English make very good pickled onions. When I'm back in Australia, I usually use these old traditional English recipes because they just somehow make the best pickled onions. I don't know what it is about it. Very good pickled onions you made here, Rick.
Why, thank you. Where do you want that?
Next to the other one, I think.
Next to pickle. How much?
Yeah, that'd be beautiful. What is that one?
It's caramelised chutney.
Caramelised onions?
Onion chutney.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
So Annie said Paul Mesner was the guy that she was talking about that does tents.
Oh,
You
that one.
like that one? So we'll have to look at that one. And Arthur says InReach SAT system also lets you send a distress call when there's no cell service.
That's rubbish, this puppies. There's no cutlery.
You got to use your
How am I
fingers.
going to eat the coleslaw? I'll have a word with the barman in a minute.
So Groovy Virgo Chick says, if I get back to the UK, I was thinking of hiring a motorhome to travel around. I don't think I could hack camping, but I love seeing how you both travel. Yeah, well, we're gonna.
We quite like camping.
Yeah,
We've
do.
done a fair old
We
bit
have,
of camping
we
over
have.
the years.
Yes.
We're pretty seasoned campers. We took a tent all around Australia. Did a 12-month tour of Australia and spent a great deal of it in our tent. So
We
we're
did.
pretty good.
We like the camping. It's just the walking, but we'll get there. It's
So look,
good for us.
lovely crusty bread roll, lovely and warm. I'm just going to break that open.
You cut your roll open, Steve, or you're right.
I use my cutlery, mate.
Okay. Have you got cutlery?
No. No, I was going to go to the next pub. I was going to go to the next pub, mate. I thought this place sucks. I haven't got any-
Sorry, there you go.
I'm so picky, but I can't leave you guys. I could have picked you up, of course. So thank you, Rick. Thank you, gentlemen.
So Susan said, hopefully by December, Victoria will be open again. It's very bleak at the moment.
Yes.
And Annie says it might rain a lot and be very heavy.
Well, I'm hoping. I'm hoping I'll be lied to by the end, even if it does rain.
Shuligan
But
says summer being.
There was no need for that.
I actually read that wrong. Might rain a lot and very heavy. Not, yeah.
To a lovely crispy roll. A little bit of this beautiful caramelised onion chutney.
So Gareth says, you did them proud, Rick. Enjoy. And John says, man, that looks good.
Ooh, that's yummy. That's yummy.
And Shuligan says, what about recording a podcast with creators as you get your walk on?
If we can find the numbers, it'll be fun. I think what we'll do is just try to do. I will say that actually, Rick said that it would be a good idea to do fairly regular live shows. And, there's always the danger, some of you know, Shuligans, you'll know, because that you end up clogging up your feed with too many shows. But we don't really mind, do we? Everybody out there will let us know if it becomes too much.
Was that hear me, Cheryl?
Um,
I'm having mine a bit later.
You're gonna have it later.
I'm not actually that hungry yet. But
All right.
I'm
Well,
saving mine till a bit
you
later.
can come and sit back this side then.
Yes. I
sure?
was only filling your
I
space.
only put you that side because I thought you might want to sit and eat, and I didn't want to put you into.
If you want
Into
yours, it's
bother.
on the side, ready to go.
No, I will make it.
It's only me that's allowed to eat on camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I tend not to eat on camera.
Nor do I normally, because it's the most. The worst thing is somebody asks you a question, you've got a mouthful of pickled onion. And you're like, I sometimes think it's a good idea to eat on, and I think sometimes people quite like to see what we're having.
Well, yours
But
is a culinary channel.
It's beautiful.
So it's sort of, well,
It is,
And
but
this won't go
but
cold,
that's-
so that's
but
good.
But it's not it's not a mukbang. Mukbang or mukbang. Very nice, man. Little
So
molten mulberry
Mulberry.
pork pies.
I wanted to get the big one, but I could only get the little ones.
Sean says, I wonder if there's a pair of trainers which would charge phones as you walk.
Where are you coming from,
If
Sean?
there isn't, that's a hell of a business.
Oh my lord!
You should patent
Sean.
that quickly, Sean.
Oh come on!
Oh, it's a
There's-
cracking idea.
there's
Think about it. It's like
Where do you
Kinetic-
get the kinetic energy when you're
kinetic
walking?
energy while you're walking. It's like just
But
based on
only
the
if you drag
impact.
your feet.
No, just purely the act of. I mean, like they've got watches. Just by the movement of your arm, it winds the watch up and
Yeah.
it powers the watch.
So Annie says many of those small solar panels are not good enough. Find the
I
right
tell you
ones.
what, I think that's a brilliant idea, and I expect between you and Rick to come up with a working prototype by next weekend. And if I'm dragging my feet 8,000 k's with a couple of car batteries strapped to my ankle,
I was going to say that's the thing. How heavy are the batteries are going to be that you're charging up?
gosh, these are good. People be stopping and say, "Well, where'd you get those shoes from?" I say, "Well, sponsored link, obviously. Rick Van Man and Sean's channel. Get across and buy some. I've got the lithium batteries, the lithium car batteries, because they can fully decharge without losing their power. Is that right?
No, you need the leisure batteries.
Okay.
The high cycle
All right.
batteries.
Now there you go then.
Actually, you can use the 8650 batteries.
Oh,
look,
we
it's, look, it's
don't.
little
Yeah,
brains,
the little
it's
cogwheels
whirring
are starting
there.
now.
Mr. O'Clunker says YouTube MCQ bushcraft.
Junaid, hello mate. How are you, Junaid? We have left. No, don't be sorry. We had a wonderful time. Budrum was great. The people there, delicious, fantastic. But it had to end. A good thing. All good things have to end.
Oh, Sean says, according to Google, the trainers already exist called dubbed Instep Nano Power, but not available to buy yet.
I suspect there aren't a lot of long-distance hikers wearing them, though.
Well, they're not available
Yet.
yet. Not available yet. Yes.
You could have picked a better angle, Steve. There's my washing line smack bang in the middle of it.
Oh,
You moved it.
It's not that important.
I know. I'm not. I'm ignoring you.
Ben says the live shows are fun, though even a daily one would be great.
Well, this was Rick's idea. I'm going to give Rick credit for that because maybe frequent live streams could be quite entertaining, and we're playing with the idea because there's some.
Just say goodbye to John. He's got to go.
Goodbye, John. Thanks for your comments and suggestions. Maybe more frequent live streams, sort of keeping you up to date with the journey and showing you some of the beautiful parts of the United Kingdom. It would have been nice if we could have swung in. Well, maybe we could come across to Dublin afterwards, or
Yes.
we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see where we get.
I was going to say, do you have to do John O'Groat? Can you like start? Sorry, Land's End. Can you like, start at one corner and work your way across Scotland, which is insanely beautiful, and then jump on a ferry, head over to Ireland?
He's desperate to make us walk.
Sorry, I just read the last comment.
Really?
Sean said, I've just worked out what's happening. You two are just going to walk in front of Rick's green screen and pretend you were walking.
Sean,
Oh, you've worked it out.
turn it off. End the stream. End the stream.
He's sussed
He's
it.
ruined it. Yeah. Yeah. Here is the.
You know what?
Here are the Highlands.
It's not a bad idea.
You can join us, Rick.
Yeah.
You could have guests on.
Yes.
couldn't you?
But even they could be just sort of like superimposed onto the green screen. It was just Sean, then you could walk with us. We could say, we're doing this section with Sean.
Yeah.
How are you, Sean? Where are we? In Dumfries. We are not green screening a walk of that magnitude. It's not a bad idea.
So Eddie said, so is that lunch or dinner? Must be dinner so late in the
No,
UK.
it technically can only be a lunch because they don't do a ploughman's dinner.
This is true.
You know what? I never thought of that.
So even though
That's,
it's dinner time,
That makes it invalid. Oh, sorry, I was going to take it away.
sorry, take it back. Even though it is actually dinner time, we're having a ploughman's lunch. Now, the traditional ploughman's lunch was a simple sort of bread, cheese, pickled onions that they took out into the fields. When the ploughmans used to do the fields, they would give them a sort of little handkerchief and tie up a little cob loaf. And I think that the cheese and everything used to be put inside the loaf or something. I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong on that. Probably am.
I'll consult Google.
But definitely
Yes,
the
yes.
ploughman's lunch comes from a small sort of pack lunch that the ploughman would take when he was working out in the fields, ploughing the fields, and it was also seasonal because the ploughing tended to be done in the springtime. They'd be ploughing, getting the fields ready for the sort of summer and autumn crops. So I think it was the crops that were available at the time. What am I?
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, ploughman's lunch is an English cold meal based around bread, cheese, and onions, usually accompanied by butter and pickles. Additional items such as ham, green salad, hard-boiled eggs, and an apple can be added. As its name suggests, it's most commonly eaten at lunchtime, is particularly associated with pubs and often accompanied with a beer.
There you go then.
Nothing about the origin. Oh, history.
So Piper says, hi Steve, Michelle and Room. And
Hi,
Chris
Pam.
says, hi guys, nice to see you. Managed to get somewhere new.
Yes, we have, and you're going to have to watch one of the feeds, maybe not the one that failed,
Yes.
to get the full story.
And Sean's suggesting take a full-size cardboard cutout of Rick with you. Annie said 110 each and a tarp
We're
to have
trying.
between them.
We're trying to reduce our weight, and you know, I got to be a bit careful what I say because you know Rick's been so hospitable and lets in. But you know, if I do a full-size cardboard cutout,
You wouldn't fill it in.
it could add quite a lot of weight to my pack.
Lock down extra pounds.
And last time I looked, we didn't need a balcony with a tent. Balcony.
That's right, yeah, you call them a balcony, don't you? Yeah. A little slow on the uptake there.
Rick's,
Oh, it says you.
Rick's skinny next to me. Look at me. I'm much chunkier.
Sean says you can use it over your heads when it rains. So Ben says, are you planning to go with them, Rick? You said you wanted to go back to Scotland at some point.
Yeah, it's probably going to be next year now.
No, because Rick,
I should go in March sort of time, March.
yeah,
April,
Rick's
so-
going to go up and do some camper van touring. They wouldn't practically work together as a project, in my thoughts.
So Piper says, are you still in Turkey? And Eddie has answered her and said, no, we're in the UK. Nothing about that in the
lovely,
history
man.
there?
It's all right, isn't it?
Enjoying
nice.
that?
So I simply arranged some products on a plate. I mean,
That's all the Plowman's is. It's one of the simplest meals, and yet the combination. We talked about this earlier, Rick and I. Some of the most delicious foods combine crispiness with tartness, so the pickles, with sourness, with sweet, and then some of the very best meals add into that heat and cold. So we were just saying earlier about how I think both of us quite like the idea of hot custard with ice cream, served with an apple pie, and I think we both sort of agreed that that's a lovely way of eating an apple pie.
definitely.
So Rick,
I was going to say, I've read right through that Wikipedia thing, and there's nothing about storing the cheese inside the bread or anything. Not that I could see. I was kind of skip reading. So,
they probably forgot to do it, and I did mention them back in the day.
oh, it's quite possible you could have made it up.
Whoa, does he make things
Oh,
up?
Rick,
I'm just guessing.
I think I'm probably confusing my Cornish pasties with my Plowman's lunch.
Yeah, well, the Cornish pasties they had the thick crust, didn't they? Because they had the tin ore on their fingers, and or is that an urban
No.
myth?
Carry on with that story. Don't stop there.
No, because the tin miners
in
would
Cornwall.
would have the ore was poisonous.
Yes.
So the Cornish pasties would have this big crust, and they'd hold it by the crust, eat it, and then throw the crust away.
Throw the crust away. So outside the tin mines, they would have thrown all the that's why the Cornish pasty has that thick crust on it. So it was technically, although I do think, and many years ago when I was a young boy at school, I worked in a Remy workshop Royal Electrical Mechanical Engineers workshop. It was like a work experience, and I worked fixing big 10-ton army trucks. You know,
Cool.
Yeah, I was like an apprentice. It was a sort of school leave project that I did, and we'd get under working on the sumps, taking out all the sort of parts, and your hands would be black, your arms would be black with oil, and then you'd go and have sandwiches and you
stink
never
as well.
bother. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit of Swarfiga.
Yes.
Washed a bit of it off and then went to the canteen and ate sandwiches, but we never really got the
You
muck
know,
off your hand. So
thumbprints in
you'd
the
often
bread.
have bits of oil, sump oil in your bread, and we never threw those away. And I suspect, the story I'm getting at, Rick, is I suspect they didn't throw the crusts away all the time. They probably also sort of gave them a bit of a...
Maybe it's just the worst
Just-
bits.
Yeah,
hold one bit.
maybe.
But you don't always have to hold it with two hands either, do you?
Of course, yeah.
Yes. Elaine said no brown sauce.
Yes, there is technically, Eleni, because Branston pickle in itself is brown sauce surrounded by various pickles.
There's vegetables.
So your A1 sauce in the US is about as close as you'll get to our brown sauce. So I've got a bit of crusty bread, a lovely little bit of cob bread, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of pickle mixed up with some coleslaw.
That looks really nice.
Well-
Yeah, it's starting to make me a little bit
You a
hungry.
bit hungry?
I shall, yes, I shall enjoy that with a nice cold pint. And
So cheap shop photography said, blimey, I saw the thumbnail and thought that looks like Rick's fence in the background.
Is Rich Spence that famous?
It must be.
I haven't done that many videos out here, but I think I've done a few scans of the garden because I've been working on the garden. So
Are you going to tell me you didn't make a video putting the fence up?
No,
Hmm.
no.
There you go then.
Probably a good thing because it was a bit of a dodge job. There's that fence post there. I hit a concrete platform, and I was trying to dig the fence post hole. It was just a nightmare. So it was all a bit Heath Robinson. You don't want to look too closely.
Heath Robinsons. That's a lovely saying, isn't it? Heath Robinsons. Where does that come from, Rick? You know where that the history of Heath
he was
Robinson?
he wasn't like some kind of an inventor, but he would like jerry rig stuff, and it would all be a bit hickledy-pickledy and hodgepodge, but it would still work.
Isn't England wonderful? It's only when I come back to England I remember that how fascinating the English language is. Because I've asked Rick to tell you what jerry rig is, and he's used the words hodgepodge, hickledy-pickledy,
Hickledy-pickledy.
and what was the other thing you said? The third thing you said that was completely to anyone in America or anywhere else in the world is going. Okay.
Actually, we were having this conversation earlier, weren't we, about the simplicity of English
Simplicity of
language.
English, how simple it is, and then I said how, and you've got explain to me jerry rig. Well, it's a sort of hodgepodge of Keith Robinsons. So yes, it's clear as mud. I love the way English is spoken in colloquial words, and the words we have, the history of the language. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, Eddie said English in the US has faded a lot compared to UK English.
Well, in Australian English, we have even more quite remarkably bizarre words. I was saying to Rick was asking me a little bit about the Australian accent. A lot of you know that we haven't got very strong Australian accents because although we've lived there many years, we originally Brits, or English, so our accents are not particularly strong. But when you actually think of the Australian accent, when it gets really sort of Aussie, it's very close to a London accent. And I was saying, if you think about a lot of the original Australian settlers would have come across on even the £10 Poms, and the original settlers would have come from working class parts of the south of England predominantly, and so you get the Australian accent. It ends up being quite similar to the London accent, you know.
Yeah, Eddie
So
says
when you-
colourful language though.
Yeah.
Australian English is hilarious sometimes.
Yeah, it is. But if you think of, you know, how Londoners speak, you know, and then you think about how Australians speak, it's very, very similar.
Well, Chris says, just wait till the day you come to Ireland and you'll hear some really unusual English.
Yes, I'm quite looking forward to it. I have never been to Ireland. Have you been to Ireland, Rick?
No.
No.
I've always wanted to go. I've many years ago. I think I was making a recipe. I don't think I even filmed it in the end, but it's a Kilcannon recipe. I like a lot of the Irish food.
I think you did.
Did I make
think
it
we did,
on,
yeah,
on the channel?
a little while ago.
And I've always thought, oh, it would be lovely to go over there and just sort of, you know, understand what the crack means, understand the sort of the Irish culture and foods as well, because, you know, it's one of those parts of the British Isles I'm not that familiar with.
Well, you may have an opportunity.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
might have.
Maybe.
Well, we may never.
Nearby.
Well, we
Relatively.
a lot will depend. I mean, we'd like to be home for Christmas. We'd like to be back in Australia for Christmas. But you know, there was a time several months ago that I used to think, well, this will never go on that much longer. It'll be about another month and it'll all be over. And now I'm starting to actually, when somebody says to me, they won't open the borders up to Australia until 2022, I'm starting to think, maybe they're right. You know, in which case, what do? We'll have to go everywhere. Right?
Stuck here. Stuck here for a year.
Yeah. So we could go to Ireland, we could go to Wales, we could go to the Isle of Man, the Isle of Sheppey, the Isle of, yeah, what other islands have we got?
We've got a few more islands
Isle of
there.
Wight.
Yeah.
Isle of Wight, yeah.
Isle of Wight.
Wight. What's the one down south? Off of Cornwall and beyond. What's that one down there?
Oh yeah, right out at right out in the ocean. Got quite a famous island. Isle of, come on everyone,
Yeah.
come on.
Help us out, help
It's
us out.
where-
Isle of Dogs? No.
No, it's the
Sicily?
No,
no,
no.
it's you have to be incredibly rich to live there. I can't remember the
Not Guernsey, Jersey.
Guernsey, good game.
Oh, no,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
thinking
there's
of
the
another
other one off of Cornwall.
There's a
isn't
small
there?
island off of Cornwall.
Okay.
Not that far off of Cornwall, but not as far as Jersey, Guernsey, and
It's not.
I'm not
Si-
familiar
yeah,
with that
Scilly.
one.
Is it Scilly?
Scilly, yeah,
Scilly.
Isles
Scilly.
of Scilly.
That was like
Ah,
Sicily
okay.
to me,
Sicily,
their
but-
cheap shop photography. The
No,
Scilly Isles.
Scilly Isles.
That is actually
Actually, if you go into John O'Groat, Land's End.
might as well just go across.
It's-
You just hop across there.
I don't
yeah.
think you have to be incredibly rich to live there. I think you have to
No,
be incredibly
no, I think
sort
it's
of.
the Jersey,
Jersey
Jersey
Jersey or
Guernsey,
Guernsey one.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
the sort of. You've been, Michelle, to
Yes, I've been
Guernsey?
to Jersey.
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 I've
yes,
never
very
been.
nice. So Micro Camper Builder says, great to see you in the UK, guys, and hope you're well, Rick.
Thank
sorry,
you.
Sorry, I'm just reading a note from Damon. He just said, sorry, you had to go and pick up an injured owl near
Oh.
Longhorn.
All right.
So they're off. So,
Well, while you're out having a hoot,
yeah.
Sean says,
So-
grab hold of your pickle, Steve. The wind's starting to pick up in London, so it'll be with you soon.
oh man,
What was that thing you said, Michelle? I can't wait for you to come. No. Sorry, I missed what you said a minute ago.
Oh, I said about Micro Camper Builder. So great to see you in the UK, guys, and hope you're well, Rick.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you
Yes,
very
all good.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Rick and I have a lot in common. We sort of, I think we talk at the same sort of nonsense quite often, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And we were just breaking this lettuce in half. Rick and I were talking the other day. When I used to have my little small farm holding, and Rick, as you know, used to be the king of allotments at one time. We were talking about sleeping. You know, when you have trouble sleeping. So here's a little fact that some of you might find interesting. That many years ago, I was telling Rick, many years ago, the Italian legions, the soldiers, when they marched to battle, to get a good night's sleep before battle, and why they were often very successful is they were always well rested before battle. They would eat wild sorrel and wild lettuce. And when you used to break the lettuce, old lettuces, you would see like a slight white resin, a white sap in the lettuce, and that is actually very closely related to the opiates of the poppies, and it used to make people sleep. So they would eat handfuls of lettuce before a battle. I read this some years ago. I think it was in Beatrice Potter, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was the.
No, I'll let you. I'll segue into that in a second.
Yeah.
But I read it many years ago in some history books that they used to eat wild lettuce because it makes you sleep. So if you ever have a sleeping problem, by the way, if you can find some of the old varieties of wild lettuce, they're fantastic. And I tested this in when in our home in France, when we had our little farm there, and it really does work. And Rick, you said,
Well, yeah, I was able to collaborate that. Or is that the right word?
Yeah,
Collaborate.
collaborate.
Yeah. Because years ago I did a voiceover for a children's story, which was a Beatrix Potter story called The Flopsy Bunny. Was it The Flopsy Bunnies?
Flopsy Mopsy, Cottontail and Tufty. Or...
And there's a line in there which says that they all ate lettuce, and because of its soporific effect, they all fell asleep. And we was able to tie in the two facts to sort of make them more.
Yeah, so
believable.
Rick said, "Oh, that rings a bell." Told me that story, and then I remembered. I said, "Yeah, surely that was Mr. McGregor's garden, wasn't it?" It was. So, and I'd read that as a child as well, but it hadn't sort of clicked with me. And the reason the bunnies fell asleep in Mr. McGregor's garden, if it was Mr. McGregor's, was because lettuce makes you sleep.
As Sean says, lettuce will send you to sleep if you eat enough.
Yes, if you eat, actually, if you really struggle, but these more modern lettuces, these more modern iceberg lettuces, they don't have the same opiates in them. They've been bred. We should sit one day and do a live chat. We do one on your channel maybe and talk about it and just.
I don't do live on my channel.
We do one on this channel. We talked all about. My younger days when I went to a vegetable research centre in the south of England and how they managed to breed out the goodness of these lettuce. So yeah, some of these more modern lettuce really don't help you sleep. You do have to find the older varieties, and some of you may remember, you might see it in sorrel, you might see it in dandelions. Sorry,
that white sap in the stem.
You might,
of the
when you
flower.
break the stem, that is the same. That is the stuff that makes you sleep.
And you can eat the dandelion flowers
Yes,
as well.
yes.
You can.
Flowers and the leaves, and I think the stem. Sean will be able to tell us whether it's the stem
Well,
as
Sean
well.
is saying Henry Doubleday. I don't know why he's saying Henry Doubleday.
That sounds familiar to me, Sean. I'm not sure quite where the reference is, but also the French call the dandelion pissenlit. Pissenlit, which means basically to wet the bed. And if you remember when you were kids, I don't know if you would have got this in America or any other parts of the world, they used to say if you picked dandelions, you'd wet the bed. And of course, the French knew, because dandelions are actually also a diuretic. The root, I think, of the dandelion, which is where you get chicory from.
Chicory, that's your replacement coffee, isn't
Yeah,
it?
is actually a diuretic, which means, helps you go to the loo.
Oh, he says it's a plant research centre.
Yes, is this the name of the centre you went to? Henry Doubleday.
Where is it?
I don't know.
It says, remember
It was
name
Sean.
of the centre you went.
It was down near New Milton, towards New Milton, on the right hand side. I don't know if you know it. I don't know if you've been down that way, but it's towards between Lymington and Christchurch, on the New Milton bypass.
There you go. He said it could be it.
It could be it, so I don't know.
So Cheap Shop Photography says a few pints of Guinness does the same, sends you to sleep.
Well, that is true, but
Yeah.
for slightly different reasons. For slightly different reasons. I'm the only one eating here, by the way, mainly because, and it might look a little selfish, but mainly because Michelle can't eat while she's doing your questions, and Rick didn't particularly want to eat on camera with us here. So I'm here being very selfish while these two lovely people
Drooling.
are drooling.
Sorry.
Hello, you two.
Hello. Ben says, when are you planning to go to Scotland, Steve? How will you get there, a flight or drive?
Flight,
question.
Ben. Sorry, I answered that very quickly, didn't I? We have done that research. It seems the simplest way to get up there would be to fly to Inverness and then make our way there.
And then
So
work on the next bit later.
we have only had
I mean, lift. Something
Yeah,
left, or
yeah, well, everything will be on our back, so we should be able
We
to.
barely had 2 days to plan this, so as you can imagine, it's still fairly fragile.
So Paul says, second the comment about a few pints of Guinness helping you sleep.
Yes, a few pints of almost anything will help you sleep. To be honest.
if you end up in Ireland at any point, is the Guinness in Ireland like different to what we get over here? That would
Well,
be an
the
interesting.
fact that you've just said you started that with "if you end up in Ireland"
Well-
can confirm that I don't know.
Well, it's just a,
I've heard
just
the
a
same
thought.
story. No, I've heard the same story.
So it would,
But
you know,
I think
for
it used to
research,
be.
you should go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
just
think
for
I think
research
I think
purposes.
it's
Just
the
to have a
Shooligans,
Guinness.
if
Yeah.
they're in, might be able to answer that question. But I think it used to be, and now there's the story of Guinness. We're a mind of information between the two of us, mate. We should do a show more regularly.
Yeah, but I make most of mine up.
Yeah, so do I. I'm about to make this up, so don't worry. Guinness apparently was found. This one could be a complete fallacy, but have you heard the story that Guinness was? There was a fire in the Guinness breweries in. I want to say Belfast. I could be wrong. And they had a fire, and a lot of the barrels got burnt black. And when they started using those barrels then to actually produce their stouts or their darker beers, it produced this beautiful, rich, dark Guinness. Now, that could be complete nonsense. Is somebody saying Dublin?
Yes, Dublin. I've just looked it
Dublin
up.
and Belfast, or?
Dublin.
Okay,
Dublin.
so in Dublin.
Yeah,
I thought that there still is a Guinness factory though in Belfast. I'm not sure.
maybe. Sean's coming up with some good ideas. Another idea is to smash a few windows in the town centre, then you'll have free accommodation and food for a few months, all free. So Chris says, yes, it's different here, something to do with the water, I think. So Chris is in Ireland. Ian Waltman says you could do a tasting at the Jameson Distillery in Dublin.
I'll tell you what. I'll be honest, and I'll lay my cards out. I'm not a big Guinness fan. It's not my favourite beer. I really like Kilkenny. I love a Kilkenny, which is another Irish beer, but it's actually a dark ale. And I could drink a pint of Kilkenny. It's beautiful. Have you had that?
I can't say I have.
It's
No.
smooth. It pours like a Guinness. It has a head like a Guinness, but it's a lighter, more like a Newcastle brown ale. But it's smooth, and I do love it. But they're both very commercial beers. They're both. If I was in Ireland for sure, I think I'd try to find some smaller producers of stout, maybe some people that are making stouts under different brands, different names. That would be fascinating.
Do they have like small stouts places like Scotland has small independent whiskey?
Yes, they do.
distillers?
Yes,
Is it
they
the same
do.
sort of thing in
Yes,
Ireland?
they do. There are many different brands of stout, of Guinness, because Guinness is just really a stout. There are many different brands of stout throughout Ireland, and Guinness is just the one that's known.
Okay.
I know that to be. fact.
Yeah, well, Gareth says you would love Doom Bar. It's a great ale. And Chris says Belfast Black is a really good stout.
Do you know what I had and I didn't manage to show you in Turkey? Just the last week, I found a beautiful black beer. It's almost a stout, and it's in Turkey they call their dark beers blacks, and I found them in actually Bodrum,
Yes,
and it was delicious.
the
It was
Bomonti Black.
Bomonti black beer. So if you ever go to Turkey and you like I do, I'm not a big drinker. But if you ever go to Turkey and you like the Bomonti brand of beers, look out for their blacks. They're delicious. They are very chocolatey, very nice beer.
It sounds delightful.
Yeah. Do you like Newcastle brown ale?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's got that. It's got those sort of undertones.
Hey, Ben's laughing at you because you said you were not a big drinker.
I'm not a big drinker, but the perception is that I am, because whenever I do a live stream, I quite often say I'll have a drink, but in between that, I don't drink. Oh, shit. Oh, I was sorry.
You didn't hit me. You're
I
all
know,
right.
but I did it. You know, I did it like that, and then as I looked around, I was a bit closer than I thought I might have been. I could have sort of like, where's Rick gone? I was down, down on the floor.
So Eddie said we must be a bad influence on you, Steve.
You are a bad influence.
And Ben said, just getting back at you for trolling at me a few weeks ago.
There you go, mate.
And the Shuriken said, I brought James and Stephen to Middleton Distillery 2 years ago. Definitely a bucket list.
Okay, well, you can possibly do that for us if.
Yes.
James and Stephen, lovely people. Lovely people. They were very lucky to have you take them there, to be honest, because they're heathens. They wouldn't have known what they were drinking. Stephen, maybe. James wouldn't have had a clue. So, you know, take somebody. So you could take Rick and I across. We're pretty, I would say, quite advanced in our beer tasting skills. Blag it.
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course. Yes, we know what we're talking about.
We know what we're talking about. Real Ale Society. We are actually members of the Real Ale Society, and we're here today to tell you that this lovely this is quite nice. What did you?
Yeah, I
how
made
did
it
you
fresh
make
this morning.
Really?
Yeah. I'm running out.
Well, that. Are you having another? Or you
I
have
am.
too many? You are.
I
Okay.
am.
All right.
Do you want one? I'm going to get one.
Okay. We'll have another beer.
Ben says, how long were you in Bodrum for?
3 weeks.
No, I'm good. I think my water.
Was it 3 weeks, Michelle? Close
It
to?
was 3 weeks, yes. It was just slightly over 3 weeks. We were in Turkey for just slightly over 5 months.
We were in Turkey for almost 6 months, would you believe? And whilst we've made some of my closest and dearest friends in Turkey, who I'll always stay in touch with, it was sometimes a little bit trying. Junaid, you too, mate. And Junaid, I also had the Fredrickson, was it?
Frederick.
The Frederick. I managed to find it, mate. I wish I could have had one with you. Junaid actually lives in Bodrum, so I kind of
He said, saying Frederick there.
yeah, I had the
Up
Frederick.
back.
That was a beautiful beer, man. Dark, closer to a bitter, like an English style bitters. Yeah, very
I
nice.
love English style
Yeah.
bitters.
I'm sure they can. They're so brewed. Oh, yes. Do you like some of the West Country ales and things? Have you had some of those?
Any of the traditional ales I absolutely adore. They're so much more interesting than lager.
I think so. Yeah.
I
yeah.
love the flavour, the taste, the oakiness. They're just an event.
I haven't had your English
Couldn't stand it any
ales.
longer.
Probably. I'd probably say I'm going to stab and say maybe about 10 years since I've had them. I've had very good beers in Australia. We also make some fantastic ales, IPAs, beautiful. I just get the keg from the. We are actually drinking Carling. So for those of you that.
I just happen to have some.
Yes.
Because I don't normally actually have much beer here.
No.
So, but I had some in the storeroom.
So we
I
thought
just,
it's a live stream. It's a rare and special event. Chance to talk to you all, and we would do.
Junaid says, cheers.
Cheers, me dear. I am really
Paul-
enjoying. I'm enjoing having you here and chatting,
And I'm
mate.
enjoying having you here as
I'm
well.
so glad you were able to join us.
It's so nice to be here.
Oh, aren't you being nice to each other?
Later on, we won't talk,
Yeah,
but we're not going
Just
to.
off camera.
Paul says, how many beers can you buy in Turkey for the price of one beer in the UK?
Oh,
Oh,
grief.
who said that?
It all
Paul.
Do you know they're not that much different? I don't think. I think you can get some good deals in the UK.
Well, it depends if you're buying in a pub, which are
Oh.
usually extremely expensive, or if you're buying from a supermarket. And
Well, that can actually be the same. I mean, you can buy a beer in our local store where I used to live in Istanbul. You could buy a very nice beer for around, I would say it's two Australian 50. So what is 2 Australian 50 in pounds? That
Okay.
would be a bottle of beer.
I'll be with you. Hang on a minute.
So that's 2 Australian. That's probably about £1.
$2.50?
I'm so unfamiliar with the
Get out of the
pound
way,
rate.
you.
Is it
So
£1.29?
£1.36.
Okay, So I think you could buy a beer in the supermarkets here for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if you buy in bulk, like those Carlings, I bought
Mm.
in a pack of, I think they were 18, and it was about £12.
So actually cheaper than
But if you buy them as a 4,
Right.
they're going to be, I'm guessing, about £4.
So
they're
just
a
a pound a pop.
maybe a bit more.
So in reality, who asked that?
And Paul.
Paul. So in reality, beer was a little more expensive to buy in Istanbul, but drinking a pint in the pub. What is a pint in the pub now?
I haven't been to a pub for so long.
Somebody
but
tell
it
us what a price, probably an average price for a beer in a pub.
I'm going to guess 3.50ish. But it's so long since I've been to a pub. I don't know.
So cheap over here compared to Australia. You can pay
Oh gosh, you.
$15 for a
Yeah, that one
for a
I did,
pint.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so
Yikes.
15. £8. £8,
That's
18.
That would be somewhere in London. I'd imagine if you're in London, a pub would probably be. Certain pubs would probably be that.
Yeah,
that
Gareth
amount.
said 3.50.
Oh, there you go.
There you
Good
go.
guess.
Okay.
So Skeeter said my first proper beer after lockdown was Pure Nectar.
I don't know that brand.
Yeah.
Sean says I'm having an almond finger and a cup of tea.
Oh, Sean.
And
Oh, you poor soul.
And the Shooligan says whiskey.
We'll be there in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah.
We'll fancy an almond finger and a cup of tea.
Do you like whiskey?
I can. I don't drink hard liquor, really. I just don't drink it. I've never been a drinker. But yes, I can very easily drink whiskey.
I've got a couple of different styles. I just wondered if you fancied a little taste test side by side.
Well, now,
Just a thought.
thumbs up who thinks that Rick and I should be knocking back shots of whiskey in amongst.
Tasters.
He said he didn't want to do a live stream, and now he's going to get me rolling around on the grass.
And Annie says a pub crawl instead of the Pilgrim Walk.
Look. I'm
Chris says
happy
go
to have
for
a little
it.
snipple to try
Yeah.
if you want. Yeah, I can certainly drink whiskey. It's one of the harder liquors that I quite like. But I never do. I don't drink.
I'm not a big drinker of it. If a fancy one, a little tip of whiskey goes down quite
Okay,
well sometimes.
he wants it. He's a complete raving alcoholic. Actually, it's just when we arrived here, he was just laying on like a puddle in the floor.
Oh, be quiet.
So the Shooligan says whiskey, Middleton or Jameson. Jameson Tor in Dublin, Middleton in Cork. 9 white beer stout in Cork. And Beera for the gin, Longville for cider, and Blackwater gin. So she's just telling you all the places you can go.
Oh my lord! Oh my lord!
Tasters. We're only doing
What are you
tasters.
doing to me,
We're only doing little
Glenfinnig?
Right, so we've got
Excuse
good
me.
stuff.
Paul's
Black
just giving you
Label.
$5. Here's some cash for the whiskey.
Oh,
Thank
bless
you, Paul.
Thank you.
Black Label.
We got some good stuff and we got some mediocre stuff, and it'd be interesting to do a side by
Black
side.
Label's a single malt, isn't it?
Black Label's. I think it's. I'll double check, but I
No,
think
check
it's single.
Let me have a look.
I think Ben Bracken is probably a
No,
single.
blended and bottled in Scotland.
Well, Ben Bracken
Blended.
is a single.
That's
a
a-
single.
Yeah.
That looks very interesting. Now, I'm sorry, Shooligans, that's actually a whiskey with a Y. So that's a Scottish whiskey. Your whiskies, am I right that whiskies with an IE or a
No, it's EY or Y.
EY is an Irish whiskey?
EY, isn't it?
We've got the famous grouse. That is another Scotch whiskey.
Cheap blend is that one.
This Ben Bracken's not. This is a
That's a single.
Yeah,
Single.
that was a
That's a
birthday
blend.
present.
Oh, what is this? Are you? I thought little,
Well, just put a little bit on the
a
bottom.
little tiny snifter. I don't want to be.
I'm rubbish with glasses. I haven't got the right sort of. Well, that's a whiskey tumbler.
Well, seeing as I'm going. Oh, that is a whiskey tumbler, is it?
yeah, I'm sure I had another one, but I can't find it.
Paul says down the hatch, Steve.
Yes.
And Junaid says I'm not a whiskey drinker, but Lach
I'm in a right pickle.
Rogue is an exception. I'd have that any day.
I'm in a right pickle now.
So, right, so Black Label's blended.
Yes.
Blended and bottled in Scotland. So now I found this one rather peaty. It's kind of got a bit of a peaty. There you go. Just a little taste there. There's nothing.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm
Sean,
taking over here. I'm terribly sorry.
No.
we are going to. I'm just going to cleanse my palate. Just a second.
With a-
Because of the pickled onion.
Oh, of course, yeah.
If anyone would like me to sing the pickled onion song again, that could happen very shortly.
Not with that amount, it can't.
Well, Gareth says, Steve, just lay down under the table now. It's easier.
Cheers.
Cheers, me dear. He's got a nice swirly mug.
That's what if you want. Actually, I've got another one of these if you want to.
No, it's all right. I'll have this beaker.
Whiskey tumbler. It just
It's a beaker. Am I going to smell that in there? I can't swirl it round. Peaty, yes.
It's got a bit of a. Yeah, the black label's got a peaty flavour.
So,
Should I get some little. Actually, I've got some little shot glasses. I just remembered. Should I get those? And then
No, actually,
then you don't-
if you've got another one of those, so I
okay.
can just give it a swirl.
It's-
I like to deliver the bouquet right into my nostrils rather than sort of trying to chase it around a plastic beaker.
Okay.
All right.
so Groovy Virgo Chick says, I'm a bit behind you guys. I'm at work to actually do some work due to finish in about 20 minutes, thankfully.
Who's that?
Groovy Virgo Chick.
Beautiful. Lovely to have you here. This is possibly going to be the first time you've seen Steve's kitchen or Steve completely plastered.
Yeah, Paul Weber
I get
says,
the
excellent.
I get the peat.
And Gareth says, try saying that after a few of those. After your plastic tumbler. Is it nice?
Do you know, it's a very well-known whiskey, but I've not had Black Label before.
So Annie says cognac is
I
better
tend to
than
only have
whiskey.
single malts.
Well, that one's a single malt, isn't it, that one?
I tend to only have single malts because I'm. What are you doing?
I bought
You
a
don't
hodgepodge
want.
of
You
glasses.
don't
Well-
want to see what is just down here.
If
you
any,
don't want
if
to
any
see.
of my family watching Christmas presents, I could do with some decent little shot glasses because I've got. It's like a jumble sale here.
It's like we've just rocked up to a sort of junk shop, and you've got like, I don't know, one of these.
Well, we got enough to line them up in front of the bottles, and then we can do a little taste.
Can't we just?
Which,
Oh, I suppose this one I'm very interested. This reminds me a little bit of monkey. Even the bottle style. There's a famous Australian whiskey. Oh, careful.
Yeah, Sue John says, Michelle, make sure he drinks plenty of water.
Thank you, Sir John.
Glass of water.
There's a
that's that one.
I'm not going to actually. I do sometimes add a little bit of water. It changes. Have you ever tried the whiskey and then added a bit of water and changed?
Ideally,
See how it.
you're supposed to add the source water to it, but if you can't do it, filtered water will work.
All right. Well, we've got some
So I've
ketchup.
heard. So I've heard.
We've got some ketchup in the cupboard.
Oh, gosh.
Bloody hell, he's only had a snifter. Oh, what are you doing?
Actually,
I'm not drinking out of that.
The sherry glasses.
I'm not drinking out of
Let's
that.
try these little.
I shall think it's Christmas.
So Gareth says, Steve, why is your accent changing to more of a UK accent?
There's a Australian whiskey that was actually voted whiskey. It's a single malt from Tasmania,
From Tasmania.
and it was voted whiskey of the
This is
world, the best whiskey in the world. And we're quite proud of it, and it's a very delicious whiskey. Actually, I've had it a couple of times.
Let me see.
What are you doing?
He's just doing it all day long.
I'm just doing 2 of each, so
Oh, well, they're in front of the bottles.
they're in front of the bottles. So we've got.
We don't need to go Black Label again. I think we've
Okay,
done that.
all right.
Now I got the peatiness in the Black Label. I thought
Yeah.
it was a little syrupy, a little sweet, almost. What do you get from that? Do you get a little honey, a little meadish?
I don't know. I need a reminder.
Okay. I got a very small amount of honey,
Let me look for that honey.
like a mead. The people we're dropping off, I think we've gone down to 40 viewers now, so they're probably going to have. Anybody share it out again, just to see if we can drag some other people. We might,
Okay.
as well, if we're going to make fools of ourselves, we might have.
Well, Jan has just come in and said, oh,
Jan.
hello, a group of my favourite people all together. Love you all from Jan.
Jan, come round here, Michelle, and say hello to Jan.
I will.
And everybody
And
else.
Rena's there. Hello, Rena.
Rena.
See, they're all coming in
Oh,
now.
Rena, I'm so sorry that you're seeing us in such a state.
And we're very well, thank you, Rena. I haven't answered your message. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
we are very well. We've left
Where have we
Turkey,
left?
and we are now with a beautiful YouTube friend of ours, Rick Van Man, and and yeah, we're safe in the United Kingdom. And Rena, if you haven't heard, we're thinking of walking 1,000 miles.
Kilometres.
And I would walk 10,000 miles.
Oh,
And I would walk
no, we've not got to the
1,000
drinking, singing stage yet.
Not quite yet.
Okay, we'll. I think personally the Ben Bongis Hope.
Okay.
The Glenfiddich. Are we back? Very sorry. Nothing to do with the alcohol. It was all Rick's fault.
Yeah.
We've lost a lot of viewers.
Oh no.
Oh,
Come back.
hardly worth getting drunk.
We're not going to get drunk on this. This is
I
tiny
would.
little thimbles. Really?
I would.
Oh,
But you are eating, so that's all right. You might, because you haven't eaten.
So,
so there's only 3 left then. So we decided it's the black label is PT and
PT, I thought a little sweet, but in a honey sense, a little.
Yes,
little,
you're back. You're back.
Yes, very sorry. I don't know what happened to internet connection. We are getting much more beautiful internet though, since you might not appreciate it, Rick, but we've had some pretty rubbish internet. So where would you like to go next?
I'll leave that to you.
I think we'll go with the Famous Grouse because that's a blended whiskey.
This is basically a cheap supermarket
Yes,
blend.
that's why I'm going there first. The Glenfiddich is a
But it's not unpleasant.
no.
It's
Okay.
it's just a little less strong.
Not my favourite, the Famous Grouse. It's
It'd work in a pinch.
yeah, it would work. I'd probably put that over ice. Actually, I think that would be quite nice over.
I think they don't like that
over
one.
ice.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's not as strong as the others. It's kind of, I
And
wouldn't say
that
it's
would be-
gluggable, but it's not as strong as the
That
others.
would be interesting though. It's not as complex. The flavours are quite plain. It's again a little, no, not peaty. It's a little tannic. There's a little after. You're getting a little bit of woody afterness. You get that sort of just pulling back on the tongue. Sorry, I'm not trying to be pretentious. Rick is, but I'm not. But I get
Can't
that.
be pretentious with Famous
No,
Grouse,
but I'm getting that pinch at the back of the tongue that comes with a sour sort of, almost if you've licked a bit of teak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't say I've ever licked teak before, so I can't.
Oh, you
compare,
must.
but-
You should lick teak. It's
Really?
it's lovely.
Oh, it's a thing, is it?
Oh, is it? Oh, in Australia we lick teak for breakfast.
Okay.
Ah, yes.
Now, I've always been taught that Glenfiddich is the good stuff. For us working class folk who can't afford the really good stuff.
Is it a single malt?
It's a single malt.
Yes.
It's 12 years old, and it's. I bought this one myself earlier this year, and it's the most I'll ever spend on a normal
It's almost empty.
bottle of whiskey. It's taken me a year to empty that bottle. That's how much I
Okay.
drink this stuff.
So Glenfiddich I've had before, and I actually quite like Glenfiddich. I think it's a very smooth whiskey. I'm not sure I'm going to
It's
drink.
interesting compared to
I'm
the
not,
others.
I'm
though.
not sure what it tastes like out of a bottle top.
Yeah, it's a shot glass
Oh,
from
right.
the 70s. These are family heirlooms, you know.
All right. Do we?
You
Fingers,
put the
fingers
pinkies
up.
up.
Fingers up.
Sue says it feels like I've made friends but not met. And
It's
Piper,
smooth.
Piper says your friend Rick is really nice and funny.
Oh, thank you.
But do check out his channel, Piper, Rick Van Man, where you will find that he isn't so funny.
He's taking good care of you.
That's so smooth compared to the others. Isn't it?
Vanilla, like that, just got that vanilla sort of edge to it, that lovely.
It just when it hits the tongue, it just melts on your tongue.
That caramel,
It is
vanilla
good.
caramel. Little vanilla caramel just sort of like spreads, none of that sort of woodiness at the back of the tongue.
Doesn't.
Still got to me. I always think whiskies have a slightly meaty sort of honey sweetness to them. Sugar, if you're going to get any sort of syrupy about the flavours, it's towards.
That is nice.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's a
I'm
good one.
holding high hopes out for
This was
a whiskey I've never heard of before.
This was a birthday present, and I've never tried it out.
But Ben Bracken. It's another single malt Highland whiskey. Let me have a little. For those of you that don't find this interesting, throw some questions up that will get us sort of scooting
Yeah.
around the outskirts
We're
of
nearly done
normality.
here. Yeah.
Highland single Scots Misky. It's a
He's
Highland
started
single
already.
Scots Misky from the single malts of the Scott Misky Highlands of Clydesdale. So this is from Clydesdale.
This will be from one of those little kind of smaller.
Possibly.
So
This is-
Annie says it's softer when it's good quality, not so rough.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the Glenfiddich. It's
Glenfiddich.
smooth.
You say Glenfiddich.
Glenfiddich.
Okay.
I've always well, it says Glenfiddich. How would you pronounce that?
I pronounce it Glenfiddich.
You're probably right, actually, but it just it says bread and Glenfiddich. But
So Paul says, what are you cooking in for hangover breakfast tomorrow? and
1977.
so this is the Ben Bracken.
This is the Ben Bracken.
Smells nice.
Oh, that's interesting.
Got a nice nose on.
Well, you can smell it in there.
Mm.
It delivers it better in
Yeah.
a glass like this. Really, if you're going to drink a whiskey, you want it in a glass like this. To be honest, you can warm it under your hands.
Isn't that for brandy though? For doing the warming? over
No,
your
no,
hands?
whiskey as well. It comes nice. I've sometimes had it. You can get like those round ice cubes that they quite common now in bars. Pop a round ice cube in there, pour the whiskey over. But you know, if you're going to try it, it's got to be tried without water and ice.
So Mr. Old Clunker says, there isn't a whiskey out there that is smooth, lol. They all burn like heck going down.
True.
You're talking about bourbons, though, I think, Mr. Old Clunker.
Some burn less than others.
These are actually all Scots whiskies. So I'm very sorry to my Irish friends out there.
Yeah, the Shrugan says, lad, we don't just drink it here, we cook with it as well.
Cheers.
That's
Hang on, I don't want to drink it because I've still got the Glenfiddich in my mouth. I might have to just do a quick palate clean.
it's a little harsher than the Glenfiddich. The Glenfiddich is definitely the smoother one.
Really,
So Eddie's got a question.
Eddie,
Yeah, where's the rum?
where's the rum?
Oh, go on.
And Rena says bourbon here.
Bourbon,
Bourbon.
bourbon,
Bourbon.
not bourbon. That's
Bourbon.
a
Biscuit. It's the way she spelt it.
You see what I mean? It's like a little.
Oh, very different.
Little harder.
Oh, that's strange. Isn't it? That's
Pulling
not-
a funny
So,
face.
Oh,
that's
that's
not that.
very
I'm
different.
enjoying it, face.
Yeah.
No, he says, I'm not enjoying it quite so much. I find that a lot harsher than Glenfiddich.
That's like silk compared to that. But that's not unpleasant.
That
It's-
tastes to
it's-
me like a whiskey that's one you'd have to get used to. That would take a bit of getting used to. That actually has, it's almost, it feels thinner. You know, like it's been made with water. You know, you're a bit of an expert on water, but water that's somehow thinner.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
that makes any
understand.
sense.
No, I understand why you're saying that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not smooth.
Mm.
It's not,
Annie said rough.
it's...
You're right opposite the route. Smooth
Okay,
and rough.
I am not drinking anymore because I'm not a big drinker, Ben.
That's it. Yeah.
And I will be completely actually blotto if I drink too much.
Yeah, well, as Rena says, and a beer. Wow.
Yeah. But Steve doesn't drink.
No.
Mostly.
I'm a
So,
teetotaler.
I apologise, Steve. I'm sort of leading you down a terrible path here.
Not a big fan of that one.
It's warming. It would, if you were on a chilly mountainside, it would warm your cockles. But
Can I ask? You've got that beautiful water here. Can we add a little water and see how that changes?
you want to have another go?
Yeah, I want to on this one.
On that one.
Okay.
I want to see if you've got your perfect water. If we add a splash of water in that, I want to see how that changes because I think that
Okay.
might improve that.
All right. I'll go and get some.
So Gareth says, eat more, then you will not feel drunk.
Yeah, I might. So anyway, a quick recap. We have left Turkey. We are now in the United Kingdom, and Michelle and I are thinking of doing a massive walk, 1,000 kilometres walk
Plus.
from John O'Groats to Land's End. just to get away from this dystopic sort of world. Although it's going to be hard to leave this fella. He's an absolute gent. Not that much water. A splash.
Might need it to.
Now, you
Drink.
have you done this experiment before? I mean,
I generally, if I have a whiskey, I will put a dash of water
dash,
in
and
it.
it will change
As a
the
matter of
whole.
course.
It will change the whole dynamics of
Mm.
the whiskey, as ice does as well. If you
So this is filtered water down to 24 parts per million, run through a reverse osmosis system with a remineralization process.
what he said,
And he says it's 1,400 kilometres.
just a splash,
Just
Splish,
that's
splash.
it.
just a splash, just a change. This. It's very interesting with whiskey, and I'm not a big whiskey drinker, but I can appreciate whiskey. It's very interesting how it changes when you add water into the whiskey, and as Rick rightly said, probably from the source, the actual.
In an ideal
no.
world, if you can get the source water to the whiskey, it's just that little
In
bit
a
better.
non-ideal world, non-chlorinated, as clean as possible water is also probably the best way to go.
Filtered water.
Yeah. Or a mineral water if you can get something that's, maybe an Irish or Scottish mineral water would be quite nice.
That smoothed it right down.
Okay.
So that's
Oh yes.
giving it a much smoother.
Very different taste. I might have overdone my water a little bit, but that has
Made all
gone
the
from something that's gone from something that's quite rough, quite an acquired taste, to something that's actually much closer to the Glenfiddich. It's a little smoother. So Ben Bracken, we could do like whiskey reviews. We should start a whiskey review
Well,
channel.
someone said a bit earlier on, if I can find it, that somebody from an Australian YouTuber. Oh, too funny, you guys. Steve, the
Ooh.
bartender, who's an Australian YouTuber, should be watching. That's what Gail said.
Steve the bartender, I have seen his stuff. Bit of fun.
And Greenkeeper Lawn Care says, Rick, let Steve try the Yorkshire lemon cream liqueur.
Oh, I haven't got any in stock, but if the problem is, you have to go
Who's
to
that? Who
Tesco's
said
to
that?
get it.
That was Greenkeeper Lawn Care.
Who's Greenkeeper Lawn Care?
I'm not familiar
Ah, see?
with.
Come on.
What's your real name?
You-
What's
who
your
you-
real
who are you
name?
hiding
No,
behind?
that came from when I was away at a LARPing weekend. We were doing some alcohol
Do you
tasting.
hide behind a pseudonym for me?
Introduced me to this lemon. What do they call it? I've forgotten the name.
Yorkshire lemon cream liqueur.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's this cream liqueur.
Right.
They sell it in Tesco.
So like an Irish cream, but it's a Yorkshire cream.
Yeah, and it's like a cream liqueur, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I should have got some, but I think you can only get it in Tesco's, and getting a delivery slot from Tesco's at the moment is a nightmare. So I could try now and probably.
Sounds like a sort of limoncello with an Irish cream Baileys or something.
Moorish, yeah.
Okay.
So
But if that stuff is a little bit too easy to drink, even for me. Like a Bailey's Irish cream, I can drink that stuff till the cows come home. Any questions? We're going to start to roll up because Michelle and Rick want to enjoy their
Well,
beautiful ploughman's lunch.
Eddie said just a dash, then a splash, and then they're smashed. And Jan says, okay, now recite. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. How many pecks of pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick?
Well, I'm a golden wonder, crisp as happy as can be. I met a pickled onion and she wants to marry me. And me mum was glad and me dad was sad. Now she's part of the family.
So Greenkeeper Lawn Care says, I've been sub to Rick a long time.
Yes, but the way you were starting to look into the insight of his drinking habits made me wonder if you were one of the guests that had been here before. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. Where did Peter Piper pick the peck of pickled pepper from?
And Rena says, sobriety test, say toy boat 3 times fast.
Toy boat 3 times fast.
Toy point. So
Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat.
You thought I had anything to eat.
Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat.
toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. There we go.
Okay,
Eddie says, what
Ready?
a lovely
Ready,
singing
Rick?
voice, haha.
What did you just do?
just this is the together. That's it. No, choose
Live
that
long
one.
and prosper.
Live long and prosper. Long. Now,
Peace
everybody
and
at
long
home,
life.
all you at home, I hope you're doing the same. Open your hands flat, open the centre like this, put the middle two together, open it like that, and say, Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper. Where did Peter Piper pick the pickle pepper from? And then
Drink my whiskey.
pat your head and rub your belly. But the fact that you're doing all these things together really indicates that you're drunk anyway. Because sober people don't do this sort of nonsense.
Yeah,
I don't feel dumb, I
Elaine
feel
did it. Look,
completely
she's
sober.
put the hands up and then she's done the
Oh, cool.
that one.
There is actually an emoticon.
Oh, is there? An emoji.
Yes, emoji.
Yeah. Ah, there it is. Yeah.
Everybody's laughing at you two.
I do apologise, Steve. I've led you down a bit of a maybe not so wise.
No, it's
Oh,
all fun.
It's all fun.
It's all fun.
It's all fun.
We will do another live stream in the next sort of several days. We will do another live stream. I'll talk.
Yes,
with
Eddie says
everybody's-
you're a riot together.
Yes. I think
It's
we
getting
could.
dark now.
We
isn't it?
will
Sun's-
be.
sun's
Let's
gone.
think. I would like to have actually from the rest of the you that are there now a suggestion whether we're sort of like little and large. You know what
Well, Eddie says Stuart's
duo could we be? Obviously Batman, Robin. Probably most of you
soon
are
to be
thinking
the dueling
Batman,
chefs.
Robin. Yes, maybe you're thinking sort of like the Caped Avengers. Sort of one of us is, you know, yeah, no, little.
More like the Chuckle Brothers.
Chuckle Brothers.
Piper
This way,
says,
that
"I
way.
love you all
To me,
together."
to me, to you, to you, to me, to me, to you.
Rena says, when will you be back live? Any idea yet?
We're live now.
No, when will
Key.
you be back live?
Rena, how does this time
The
suit?
Cake
suit?
Avengers. Sorry.
The Cake Avengers.
Thing 1 and thing 2. One is fit and the other the fiddle.
I don't mind being fit.
Okay, the Shooligan says we used to do Sunday sesh, Rick and Steve show.
Rick and Steve.
The Rick
show.
and Steve show.
Rick and Steve.
7
show.
p.m. is a
Rick
good
and
time.
Little jingle and everything.
Rick and Steve show. Rick and Steve show. When you're here
He's on.
with Rick and Steve. Dum-ba-dum.
I think it's time to go.
Michelle singing, you know,
Terrible influence.
Walk 'em
of
and
this
wise.
yes, I'll be wise.
Yes,
it's-
everyone's saying 7 p.m. is a good time.
And it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Junaid wants you to sing Sammy Small, but I don't know whether you know Sammy Small, do you?
Sammy was. No,
No.
no. Sammy
No.
Small. Do you know?
No, don't know that one, Junaid. You have to send
Type
us the
it
words.
up.
Send us the words. You can do karaoke.
No, don't encourage her.
Sammy was a caterpillar.
Sammy was my friend. The
Sammy.
last time I saw Sammy,
He was
This
yes,
big.
this big.
crikey.
Crikey, Sammy. Next time I saw Sammy, he was this big.
That's
Oh no,
right.
what was he
I
eating?
can't
He was
remember.
eating something, wasn't he?
That's right. He's eating all the something in the
Yeah.
world
And then suddenly he was this big. Why was he this big?
because he'd been sick.
Oh, dear.
Dum-dum. Now we want a set of cymbals in the boom. The Rick and Steve show, the Rick and Steve show, and it's featuring Rick and Steve. Hey, you go first, isn't that?
Yeah.
The Steve and Rick show, the Steve and Rick show. It's featuring Steve and the other guy.
You can tell he doesn't drink a lot, can't
Yeah.
you?
Sean says
A
he's
few
still
sniffs
here.
of the barmaid's apron and he's, he says, not being able to pass the sobriety test.
So, you lovely people, we are, Michelle and I, come around Michelle, come around.
I'm allowed back in again.
You mean you're allowed, you're always allowed back in. So
I'm busy.
Michelle and I are safe and sound. We are here with our good friend Rick. We're planning an expedition to walk 1,000 kilometres.
Kilometres. Or as somebody keeps saying, 1,400.
1,400 kilometres. We're going to take you with us.
We are.
We're probably fail at about 200 kilometres, if not, but with some encouragement and with some
Just- if you come with us, we'll make
yeah,
it
if you come
on
along.
our knees.
And in memory of Leslie, beautiful Critter T, who always used to travel in our pocket, one of my old subscribers who's no longer with us, we will see you on the road. Take care. Loved you all. See you next time.